Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Decision Hour. I'm your host, Adam Bird. And with me, I got my good friend, Lindsey Germono, advertising. Lindsey Germono, how are you?
I'm fine. You kind of hesitated there.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know why I stuttered there. I was just like, I lost my train of thought. And I was like, that's Lindsey. I know Lindsey.
What do I have? Yes.
Who's on the show today? And we're recording this video. So
Where am I? I blacked out.
This is special. My lighting sucks though. No, regardless. So anyway,
Good start.
It's it's great. We're off to a great start. What are we talking about? No one knows. But when me and Lindsey get together and chat, it's always entertaining.
Be like this.
At least it's entertaining to us. So it's like hopefully it'll be entertaining for you all that eventually watch this and listen to this recording. So, Lindsey, how are you?
I am well. Good morning.
Always a pleasure.
Everything is great. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be on with you. And I think of all the things that we kick around, one of the things that I would like to start with, not like it's my show or anything, but I'll just take over. I'll let you know when you can come back. I was talking to somebody yesterday. Be quiet. And one of the things that I was telling them was that, in this, right now we're recording obviously during COVID.
Right.
And one of the things that I have felt during COVID is this, I mean, while there have been benefits, like, we're able to work remotely and, you have a little bit more time at home, I kind of miss people and I kind of miss the networking part of our businesses and, going to conferences and I don't need to do that every single week, but I do like to do that. And I think you're the same as well. Yeah. And so one of the things I was sharing yesterday is that I'm excited about still being able to do these virtual hang sessions. I mean, even if it's just, let's, kick the can around, see what's going on, because so much comes out of it. You are one of those people for me. And then I have, a handful of other people in my corner. And I feel like, without those folks, I mean, you kind of get down at this whole having to stay home. Yeah. So I'm very fortunate to have, met you and the other folks. And I think that, that's something that should be shared a little bit more. I mean, we're kind of in a rut, man.
Yeah, I mean, this whole year has been just a kick in the balls, or whatever. At least for guys. I'm speaking from a guy's perspective, obviously, but it's been breathtaking and not in a good way. So it's like, but I look at it like it's been weird too because I miss going to like the events and stuff. But I got busier this year, and I don't know if it's because it was like September will be our 5-year anniversary for HMG already, and I just realized that just came out. I hadn't even thought about it until this very moment.
Congratulations!
Thank you. So it was like I'm like, wow, God, it's like it's gotten busy, and I think with new shows coming on, we got we started publishing early 2019, and that's starting to take off a little bit more too. And then I'm like, wait a minute, like I was traveling, like I was supposed to go to Dallas next month. That didn't happen. We used to cover a lot of sporting events, and we haven't done any of that this year, and that was like a lot of the coverage and stuff that we were doing.
Are there still even like sports happening?
I've written off the sports stuff. I got so sick of the political BS stuff, and it was just like some of the teams like, you coming out? No, we're not. We'll see you next year when everything dies down. And really, on a personal level, the only one that I really like to go to is the Army Navy game.
Oh, okay.
And
I've never been to that game.
Oh, it's amazing. And
so they're not doing that.
No,
right?
They're not. No. So I'm just like, you know what? F everything. I'm done. I'm going to hang out and just do what I can. The virtual stuff, and this is very rare. Like, this is the first time I've recorded this show this way, where we're doing video, because I am not in front of I'm more of the director, kind of behind the scenes type. And those of you that are watching this, if you follow me on social media and stuff, you will see I look a lot like I shaved for the first, like the COVID beard is gone.
Oh yeah, it was really burly.
Yeah, I mean, it was like
Santa Claus thing going.
Oh, Santa. Okay, that's a little
Well,
steep. I'm gonna let that one go for now.
I wanted to put ornaments in it.
Drop 10 pounds, but whatever. Santa. All right, whatever. So, okay, yeah, we're gonna mute Lindsay's mic for now. But it was, I miss like going out and meeting people and networking and even though when I'd go, I'm more of the shy type until I'm not the icebreaker.
Right.
Because I tell people I'm not shy and they're like, you sure about that? I'm not the icebreaker. Maybe that's the best thing to say. I'm not the icebreaker type. So.
Well, you don't seem shy.
Yeah.
But like for me, when I'm at events, it's very taxing. I think I'm like an empath. And so all that energy and all that excitement and, the talking, it wears me out. Yeah. And I think the older I get, the more I'm comfortable with saying I can really only do that one thing. And then I'm like, I got to be in the hotel room
right.
in my, towel and TV and like shut down.
Yeah.
But I do miss it. And I think, I see everybody trying to gravitate to the virtual connections and the virtual conferences and meetings and all of that. And these hubs, so they're going to get 5 to 10 business owners together and we're just going to like hang out. And I think that's great because you can do that anywhere, but I also just really miss people.
Yeah.
Do
you think
and growing my business is a part of, me being out is right. growing my business too. I mean, I hustle really hard when I'm at these things.
Well, so that was actually one of the question I want to ask you is like, how has it affected your business, or is it do you have to do a complete, I don't want to say a complete change, but obviously you have to be flexible, but are you finding new ways to do your business now since we've been in this pandemic?
I think about my business like every waking moment. And so late last year, I tried something different where I was also working on the social media for another organization at the same time. And that didn't really work out, but sometimes you don't know until you try things, right. And that's fine. And that I'm real talk that's sometimes what you do. You try a couple different things. So after that, late last year, personally, I had a lot going on. And so I was like, I need to just kind of minimize some of the things that are happening, right? Like for just mental health right. and just juggling. The agency was full speed. And then I had, other things going on. And so I was like, I really need to just kind of focus and minimize and not do anything new or not implement anything new. So then this year, I had a plan for my agency and then COVID happened and I'm like, son of a gun.
Yeah.
So it really derailed what my, 2020 was supposed to look like for my agency. So has my agency been affected? Yes, absolutely. I have the Drop and Give Me 20 podcast, which is a podcast for military entrepreneurs. And each episode's 20 minutes long. So we kind of get into it. We talk about a problem, we talk about the solutions, or we talk about how that person's worked around it. And so we have a Facebook group. And in that Facebook group a couple of days ago, I asked, has COVID still affected your businesses? And the people in that group, they're business owners just like us, from every scale, from, the operating as a 1099 all the way to having, double-digit employees.
Right.
And what I was really psyched to see was that other businesses are growing at this time. So where mine might be at a steady point, or, we're holding on to the clients that we have and understanding that one of the things that people cut when they're going through something like this as a business owner is their marketing. And I get that. It's so powerful to see the success of others. And right. So I'm seeing in this group, we've never had a better year, this and that. And I'm like, that is friggin' phenomenal and fantastic. And I'm so glad that there are businesses out there that can thrive in this. Will my agency, survive? Yes. But has it been affected? Yes.
Right.
So,
right.
You asked me a question of how has this affected the agency? I went into 2020 with a whole different plan. It's, over halfway, and I just can't wait for 2021. Like, I'm like, this year sucked, and I just want to get it over with. But, you've had a number of things happening to your HMG and then the other endeavors too. So I also love to hear, and it's incredibly inspiring to me when I'm in a rut or when I'm, when things are not really banging and, fireworks are going off, to hear how others are doing, because it almost is like, okay, that is inspire me. It's like a kick in the butt to get out there. So you've had an amazing year.
I mean, I'm grateful for it, but I'm not the, some would say I'm kind of like the
married.
That was last year, and I'm still married, so that's we'll count that as a win.
That is a win.
And it's no, it's a good thing, I promise. But no, I mean, it has been a busy year. I started 2 more projects, 2 more companies this year that we're hoping to really kind of go full force with beginning of 2021. And it's, I've learned a lot from it. HMG has grown, and I think we've gotten rid of a few shows, and at the same time I think we've added 10 new ones. We got 3 new ones that are starting between now and September 11th, and I'm really excited about that, because one of the newer ones is he's a firefighter who was in one of the towers.
Oh my gosh.
During 9/11.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I'm like super stoked about that. So it's very just kind of like, you hear his story and it's like pulls at the heartstrings. But I'm not done. I'm just not going to end there. I still got, the last, quarter of 2020 and this craziness, and I'm going to grab the horns and, ride that thing as much as I can, so.
Right. So, and then on the other side of the coin, as more people are working remotely and doing things virtually, I think that's where folks like you and I have an advantage, because we've already been doing that.
And I think that's why it got busy, because nobody could go anywhere. So for me, it was like, we're kind of a podcast network. We offer podcast services. That's one of the things that we do. Everybody was home. They're like, well, shit, I'm bored. What am I going to do? Hey, let's start a podcast, And it was like,
that's where Adam comes in, by the way. If you want to create a podcast, call Adam.
Right. So, and I'm glad that we're doing this show today, because this is the first show back from a very much long hiatus that I've been on. I get on these, as I sit here and I talk to people daily, weekly, about how to do better at your podcast, how to make money on your podcast. And I'm sitting here like, when's the last time you did a show? And I'm like,
burn.
Damn. It's been probably about 2-3 months. Yeah, I'm probably good. I probably need to do a show.
Same. We talked about that. So dropping in me 20, and I've
you got a new season coming up here soon.
Yeah, but like I still haven't really fleshed out what that might look like. And I've talked, for those that are listening, I've talked to Adam. We talk like once a week and just kind of kick it. And sometimes it's for 10 minutes, sometimes it's for 45, and we just talk about whatever's going on. And I really enjoy that. And one of the things that I was telling him is, we have, so the podcast, I only release 2 episodes a month on the 1st and the 15th. And that kind of coincides with like military, paydays and things like that. And it was just kind of like a catchy, part of it. And plus, when the agency is busy, I cannot keep producing episodes every single day. I mean, the revenue generator for the agency are the clients, right? Not the podcast. The podcast is more of a branding, public relations, more. It's like our email
like a bonus
newsletter. Yeah, it's definitely a bonus. And if anybody's listening, they wonder whether or not to podcast. Yes, the answer is yes. But season 5, I'm like, okay, what do I do? And I've talked to Adam about, a couple different ideas. My friend Claire, I hope she's listening to this. I'm going to tag her when it comes out. She came up with kind of a cool concept, and I've talked to you about it a little bit, but this idea of a round table.
Yeah.
And we just talk about like how are you really, really doing right now? Like, not how are you doing with, how's your business, blah, blah, blah. It's how are you really doing? And I think like peeling back that layer, I have to sneeze. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. And peeling back that layer and kind of, uncovering that, but what are you really struggling? And I'll tell you, when you start to pull back that layer, I'm like, yeah, this year has really sucked. You know, I look at my projections and I look at, you know, all of the goals that I was trying to meet. I didn't meet them. And it's, I mean, the year isn't over, so there's still hope for me, but that's okay.
Right. Yeah.
So every time I start to get a little down about it, I'm like, but it's okay, you know?
But you got to look at the situation too. Like I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I don't look at numbers like that as often as I probably should, because I don't see, like, everybody's like, oh, you've come so far. I haven't done shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I just do this, I do this. And it's not till you sit down and look at, okay, this is how far I've come in the 5 years. And I mean, I took a hand of dirt and I rubbed it together to try to build a company. That's literally how this worked. And then there's been times where I had more shows than we have on the network now, and they've left for whatever reason. They stopped doing it, or just it didn't work out, whatever the case is. And I would focus so much on the negative side of it that you tend to forget that, hey, when you're in business, bad stuff is going to happen from time to time. A lot of bad stuff. Know what I mean? So it's like you can choose to react and focus on the negative, or you could just as easily flip that switch and look at the positive stuff. It's been a crazy year. It's been a shit year for everybody. Everybody missed that. And excuse my language today. I'm on fire. But when you should have heard it before we started recording. Yeah, it's like, if you're listening to this and the kids are in the room, sorry, I apologize. Yeah. Send them to their rooms. But I say that because, like, everybody's gone through something this year. And as crazy as it, whether it's, I gotta wear a mask, or I gotta do this, or I can't go there, and it's like, who the cares? Like, we can focus on that, and it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, let's move on.
But you woke up this morning.
Right.
You get to go to work this morning. Yeah. You get to work from home. You get to spend more time with your family this year. Like, let's stop picking at the negative stuff and let's focus on the positive. Has it been rough on businesses? Absolutely. And my heart aches, not only for myself, but for other companies that like, you look at, like, the restaurant businesses or some of these other businesses, they're never going to open again. And they were thriving. Some of them were thriving. Maybe not all of them, but some of them were thriving. Yeah. And it's like, okay, maybe they're on to bigger and better things. I look at, like us, we have the luxury. I'll say it. We have the luxury to work at home. We're blessed. Totally. And I know you feel the same way. And it's been tough. But at the same time, it's like, we are so lucky to do what we get to do. One, because we're both very passionate people about what we do, and it's not we're not chasing the dollar. We look at the purpose, like, why are we doing this? Because we legitimately care and want to help other people. That's why you and I are still here. That's why we're doing what we do, and that's why it's so effing awesome that we get to do this.
There was like 4 things while you were talking I wanted to interrupt on, but one of the things I challenged myself with is stop interrupting people, so I didn't. First,
bravo.
Bravo. I've come a long way, Adam. When Adam says that he decompresses hard, so I won't hear from him for like 2 weeks, and he's like in the woods. I'll see a picture on like Instagram of him like in the woods, no Wi-Fi or whatever, and I'm like, dang, man, when you decompress, you decompress hard. Yeah.
When I log out, I'm out.
You are out. You're like, F this, bye. So I applaud that, because sometimes to really truly disconnect is impossible. Yeah. But you do it, and you seem to have, Instagram makes it look like you do an okay job with that. So then the other thing was, we talk a lot about imposter syndrome, and you talked to me about that because I was having that about something, and I want to kick that around, I think, a little bit more with you, because we touched on it, and I've thought about it since we touched on it. I'm like, I guess everybody has it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I'm not going to speak for everybody else, but I would assume that it's like anything in life. It could be a phase or whatnot. Mine just happens to last for, I don't know, 10, 15 years now. you know,
That's a hell of a syndrome.
it's just like, I got rid of the twitch though, so we're making
Yeah.
progress. But yeah, you know, if you don't think you're for me, I guess we're gonna peel back a layer here. I wasn't expecting this. For me, it was like there's oftentimes I don't think I'm good enough. I was like, why would
Yeah.
anybody want to listen to me?
Yeah.
And then, like, sometimes there's that fine line between imposter syndrome and my shit don't stink, where I know that I have value and I add value to people's businesses. I've added value to people's lives. I don't look at it that way though, because I'm just I like to think of myself as a very humble person, and it's like I'm not looking for accolades. Sure, it's cool to get them every now and then, but I don't want to be like, well, I've helped this person. I don't even have a list. People are like, well, you should keep a list. It's not important to me. Doesn't matter. You know, made somebody smile today, good. Helped somebody make 6 figures in their business, good. Well, who was it? I don't remember because I don't track that stuff. I don't care. You know what I mean?
We talk about imposter syndrome a lot, and one of the things that I think that helps me get through that is the podcast and those folks that are in my corner. I look at your business and life in general as like a boxing ring, right? And you're in your corner. Who is standing with you?
Yeah.
Rubbing your shoulders, putting petroleum on your face, talking to you, giving you. There's another person that comes in with water. If you ever watch a boxing match, it's incredible the amount of coordination. The other thing I would compare it to is like a NASCAR race. When that driver pulls over to get something serviced, everybody has, and so that person cannot function and cannot do their job, which is either being an athlete and or a driver, without the people around them. It cannot happen. You cannot do it solo. And so I think about that a lot when it comes to imposter syndrome, because I'm like, yeah, but these are the people that are in my corner and helping me drive. And they're their own person too. And I try to, give that back to them because they're filling my cup for me. And so when I started the podcast, I invited those folks on. I was like, let me thank you I just need to share your story. And so I had a business coach, and just really positive people. One of the other ones that I don't know if you met him is Matt with Rollers. Have you met Matt?
Yeah,
Butler?
I know Matt. Yeah. He's been on the show. Yeah, love the guy.
I swear, every time I see him at conferences and stuff, and every time I see him, he is just like, I feel like he should have a surfboard under his other arm. Like, he's so chill. So chill.
Yeah.
And I need that because I'm not chill. I can't be around another person with high energy like me. I need to be around somebody who's like, hey man, what's up? And he's so like, it's like, let's go have a beer. Let's go sit at the bar and have a margarita. And I'm like, I would love that right now, And I hope he's listening to this, because you don't very often,
we'll tag him. We'll tag him in it.
Oh, you're somebody you are something to somebody, but you don't know that. And so I'm sure,
I love
when he hears this, one of the things I really value about him is that I can just be myself around him and be super chill,
You bring up a good point right there, is that oftentimes,
I do, because I feel like I'm talking in circles.
No. It's I want to capitalize on it, because you said something important there. A lot of people, if you're listening and you've thought about starting a podcast or a vlog or blog or whatever, start it. You start it, because one of the things I tell people, like, I really don't have anything to say. You always have something to say. Mm-hmm. And there's somebody out there that needs to hear what you have to say. Lindsey and I as we're sitting here, Lindsey and I have known each other for a while now, and as she mentioned earlier, we talk on a weekly basis religiously, unless I'm, out practicing my banjo in the woods somewhere, and and when you have something to say, people need to hear it. Lindsey and I can say the same thing. We could be talking about the same topic, and the way I say it, it might not be resonating with you. Lindsey could be saying the same thing, but in her words and the way that she presents it, and it could click with you.
Yeah.
And that's why, a lot of people, and this goes back to the imposter syndrome, or why would anybody want to listen to what I have to say? Because people need to hear what you have to say. If your purpose, if you just gone out to showboat and want to, drink and get drunk on a podcast, whatever. That's one thing. If you're adding value, if you feel like you can add value and talk about something that's important, that's going to add value to people's lives, do it, because there's somebody out there that needs to hear what you have to say. Period.
And who you are. So I started my agency. I'll celebrate 7 years this year. Who I was 7 years ago is a completely different person than who I am now. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's called growth.
Right.
And, some people will hesitate in their business decisions or in their life decisions because they're not in the same place that they were when they, started 7 years ago. But I think that that's okay. I think you do a lot of PR at first. I mean, I was everywhere. I was published on magazines. I was, I had a lot of PR because I was trying to grow my business, and I was doing, a lot of work on it because I'm trying to market my business, and then, relationships formed out of that. And then it kind of petered out because everything started going and the gears were going, right? And so now I'm at the point where I'm like, well, this year hasn't really, been at the goal that I wanted it to be because, I had this whole other plan. So now I need to go back to what worked in year one. And that was all that PR. So more podcasts, more conversations. What do I know about, not a whole lot, but I do know a shitload about marketing and advertising.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to do. And I'm sorry for those that are like, oh, she just said the S word. But I really do know, and I'm immersed in it. You to ask me about accounting and finance and all that stuff. I don't know about that.
You ask me anything, and if I don't know the answer myself, I know somebody that does.
That's right.
And now that I'm more seasoned, I've realized that I'm a really good Rolodex.
And that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And we don't have to bring up situations per se, but you and I have also had really bad things happen in our business. Yeah. Bad relationships and going into relationships with people, and that's bad and it didn't work out, and you're calling me after you've had a lot of alcohol, venting, right? So bad things also happen, but you better have somebody to call, because after that I was like, okay, now you cannot, that's done. Now move forward. Don't fester in that. What if you didn't have anybody to vent to about that situation?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it gets horrible, but and that's why I guess one of the things that out of all the things that we've talked about in this show, I didn't even realize we've gone like 25 minutes already. And it's like, here's the thing with this. I look at one, I value you, your friendship, and I value everything that you've taught me because I've learned a lot with you. And I want to get into a couple of things here in a minute. Have somebody that you can trust. Lindsey's talking about, have a team, and whether you're working directly together or just somebody there as a support unit. I love my family, but they're not the ones I always go to.
Yeah,
for stuff. I'm married, love my wife, tell her everything because I have to legally. Sorry, something in my throat. Sorry. She knows I'm joking. I hope I'm joking, because she told me to say that. I don't always go there as well, because there's certain things that she hasn't experienced or whatnot. But she's a great listener, and but then when I'm looking for an answer, she's like, blank look on your face. So it's like, it's cool because I know you've gone through a lot of similar situations being a business owner, and I can bounce ideas off of you, and there's, having people in your corner. Here's the thing about that though with me. I hate asking for help.
Sure.
Hate asking for help, and I hate sounding like I'm bitching about, he said the B word. Yes. I hate, I don't want to dump my feelings or problems onto somebody else, because then I don't want them to get like impression that he's whining or venting or whatnot, right? I get very self-conscious about that. Again, ties into the imposter syndrome. So totally forgot where I was going with all that, but I'm sure one of you that are listening like, dude, I totally get what he's saying right now, And here's the cool thing about doing this, and I got to say this too, because you'd mentioned something earlier, like I want to do more podcasts as one. You look at this as like kind of an outlet for you.
Right.
Cool thing about this stuff here, you can be whoever you want.
Oh my God. And after this, and Adam knows this, literally at the minute this ends, I have to jump in my car and drive an hour and a half for a client. We're doing a Facebook Live, so I've got to coordinate all that. But this is a wonderful way to start my day because I'm really, like I got to time the traffic and I have to, get the dogs all together and, make sure my bag is packed with the microphone and this and that. And so I love starting my day like this because I feel like it powers my my drive and whatever else I got to do. But, you and I kind of talk about a lot of things here in this podcast episode. And I don't know if you're not a business owner, I mean, this pertains in life too. And I do not consider myself a business or life coach. So that's my disclaimer. I don't have any certifications or whatever, but I will say that the more you go through shit, Lindsey Germono, MD, the more you go through stuff, right? And then you also see how other people, what you can bring to other people and what other people can bring to you, you're going to see the ugly in some of the other folks too. So when things in your business don't happen, I've worked into relationships that just didn't work out. And so we break up.
Yeah.
It's hard because you care about that, but it just didn't work. Right. So that's in life and in business and stuff too. But when I started the agency, when I started the podcast, it was because I saw a problem. The problem was I didn't hear a lot of focus on military spouse, military entrepreneurship. And that may have been because I wasn't necessarily looking for it. So it's kind of like your friend gets a new car. Well, now you see that new car everywhere.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, at first I was like, there's just I was struggling in a lot of things in my business as a military spouse entrepreneur, but I wasn't hearing a whole lot the voice wasn't strong enough, especially for military spouse business owners. So that problem is now highlighted tenfold. And I'm so proud of that. I'm not the first to create a podcast around it, and I won't be the last, but now our community is filled with so much conversation around military entrepreneurship.
Right.
So now I'm like, okay, I pivot, right? I do something that's still contributing and bringing value, but like, what is that? And so that's where I keep kind of banging my head up, especially with season 5 coming around the corner. So what is that going to look like that makes a difference in the clutter or the noise enough that people will tune in? You know what I mean?
I think people are going to tune in anyway. That's my opinion. I
got that one listener, and it's my mom.
But whether you have one listener or 100,000 listeners, you only need one, right? You only need one to make a difference. Right.
That's true.
And fortunately for us, we're in a community where somebody in the community needs to hear it, and it will make a difference for them.
And there are people like that for me. Like I look at, there was a woman that I spoke to, and I was in a really tender place, but she had called me and she was celebrating my podcast with me, and it was so nice. Sidebar, I don't do well with attention on me. Like if you're watching this video when Adam gave me a compliment, I literally fold. Like I'm like, I'd rather shine the light on someone else. It embarrasses me, and I get incredibly so thank you. But she was giving me a compliment on the podcast, and I had no idea. I had no idea that she was even a fan. And we look at all of her accolades. She's just this amazingly accomplished person.
Right.
And it brought me to tears because that one person took the time to say, Lindsey, you have a really great message and you have a really great cause. And really, this podcast something is just really good. And I was like,
yeah,
really?
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? And it's one of those, it's one of those things where it's I am making a difference.
Yeah.
And that's just, no, you don't have to hope.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know you are. You know deep down. Yeah, but you and I will never, I get it, because you and I are very similar in that aspect of it. It's we'll never sit here and be like, oh yeah, I'm totally making it.
Because no one wants to sit next to somebody like that.
Yeah, but it's all you could do is hope. And if you hear a story that well, I listened to this podcast and it made a difference in my life. Okay, I got to, because there's times where I thought about, I know we're coming up on time and I got to go, but give me 2 more minutes here. Have you ever thought about quitting?
Yes.
All right, so.
A lot.
Every damn day. So you got to get up and go to work. Shit. No, I mean,
I just want to sleep all day and hang out with my plants.
Yeah, I mean, I look, and that's another episode in itself.
It makes me happy.
Talking about Lindsey's plants. I look forward to.
I'm going to send you a picture of my favorite plant.
I look forward to coming in and working in the office every day because I enjoy what I do. Shit, I lost my train of thought there. All I can think about now is Lindsey's plants. That's funny. Anyway, yeah.
Always have one by me. You should see the other side of this camera.
Lindsey's like, you walk into her house, like living room, dining room, greenhouse.
Well, first of all, it cleans the air for you. So there are health benefits to having plants in your house.
Right.
Second of all, it's my meditation. These people that are like, oh, get up and spend 10 minutes every morning meditating or whatever that you do, or peace and quiet, reading, whatever. And they have all these apps. I'm like, screw that. I just need time with I have my coffee and I walk around. No one's talking to me, watering my plants, tinkering around. And, that is my way of
That's your zen. That's how you find your zen. I get it.
That's my friggin' zen, man. Yeah. Back off. Why am I so angry?
I don't blame you, but clearly somebody needs a bigger plant in that room right now.
I need more. I need lots more.
I'm sure your husband's going to Adam, what are you doing?
Oh God. He's like, this is an arbitorium that I live in or what? But what is it that okay. So what's your zen?
I got a couple, I got to work out. That's the one thing I've missed this year is when the gyms were closed. They're open now. I need to get off my fat behind and go. But I've been walking.
Okay.
And we're fortunate enough that we live out in the country and it's beautiful. So it's that or fishing. I gotta be outdoors. I mean,
fishing.
If fishing
or killing other things. Nice. Way to go.
Killing other things. That's another show topic right there. But I started a tower garden indoors. So it's kind of a hydroponics kind of a thing. And that's because I'm wanting to be more self-sufficient with stuff. So gardening, cooking, I love to cook and smoking, dead animals and stuff like that I've gotten at the store, like chicken and venison, fish and stuff like that, because I am not vegetarian. Nothing wrong with that. I although I am starting to eat
I'm not
more,
either.
But yeah, that's what I've been doing. So cooking is probably cooking because I love to eat.
Well, and you can't be doing something else while you're cooking. That's a focused, thing. You can't have your computer open and your phone out. No. You're literally just.
I'm a guy, so it's I guess one task at a time.
We've talked a lot about that too, because I've been where with your content and stuff, and I'm just do this. You're really good at.
I'm going to say this, and thank you so much. I'm so glad you brought that up. Lindsey's helped me out so much with my social media the last couple months, where it's just all right, open up a calendar. Adam, you're going to do this today. Okay, I'm going to do this today. That's I need that because if I have to sit here and think, I should probably post something. And then it's shiny object. And then I get started on something else. And then it's 8:00 at night. And I was oh crap, I forgot to post something today.
I know. And then I'll drop a note in there and he's wait, so what do you want me to do? And I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Hey, moron, are you going to post anything today?
No. Because some people, a lot of my clients just need that, just post this. And you're wait, I'm confused. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Trust
me. Yeah. Yeah. So that's been a big help.
The person that brought me to tears, and I wanted to at least say her name and give her the respect of that recognition, is Rosemary Williams. So if she's listening to this, when she hears this part, my message to her is that moment of you giving me an accolade on my podcast really meant so much to me. It was maybe a 7-minute call. And I'm sorry that I broke down and cried in the middle of it, but that's what happens when you're operating so focused, right, and you get just this really nice boomerang thrown into your focus and you're oh my God. So I really wanted to, at least say her name and acknowledge it. So if you guys are LinkedIn people, connect with her on LinkedIn. She's just a really powerful resource for Rosemary Williams. So
Lindsey, for those that eventually watch this and that are listening to the podcast, how can people reach out to you?
Well, I'm on all the things. So the best way is probably going to be on LinkedIn. I'm a big LinkedIn user. And just look up Lindsey Germono. I don't think there are any other Lindsey Germonos, and that's Germono. You can look me up on Germono.com, and that's my agency site, and Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you can just search Germono Advertising Company and send me a DM direct message on any of those things. So yeah, you can connect with me on all the things. And then also, if you're a podcast listener, do look at Drop and Give Me 20. It's on all the things, however you listen to your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, all the things. And we have, if Facebook is your thing, we have a podcast group, and you're more than welcome to be in that group and share things that are happening with your business, because that is a really great network. And we have some really, really, really great people in that group. So
Absolutely.
Feel free to jump in there and have conversations with folks. You probably already know them. So
yeah, make sure you get into that group. I love watching that group and hanging out and just kind of seeing what people post and whatnot. I'm guilty of not being probably as active as I should be in there, but it is a group that you definitely want to be a part of. Make sure you check out the Drop and Give Me 20 podcast as well. She's getting ready to start season 5. If you got some ideas or something that you'd like to hear, send her a message or send us a message. You can also find her show on the HMG website, or now new link HMG podcasts as well. And I think Lindsey is going to come back on and do another show with us as like a guest co-host with us here in the near future.
I'll do what you tell me to, Adam. Okay.
Hey, you all have this. We're recording this right now. You heard her. We're just going to play that. We're going to play that in a loop.
Yeah.
So
yes, I will do whatever that is. So you just tell me where to be and what time. I'm there.
Lindsey, thank you so much.
Thank you, Adam. And thank you guys for taking the time to listen. And I hope that you found this enjoyable. So
absolutely. Everybody, that's all the time that we have before we let you go. Again, Lindsey, thank you. And we want to give a shout out to our home network, Heroes Media Group. Go check out all the great shows, articles, and services that they offer over there. Go to www.heroesmediagroup.com. Until next time, you've been listening to The Decision Hour.